Okay, think about your digital life for just a second. Every single time you send money, you post a photo, or heck, even just browse online, you're handing over your trust to someone else, right? A bank, a big tech company, some corporation you've never even met. But what if we didn't have to? That's what we're diving into today. We're demystifying blockchain, a technology that goes way beyond digital money. It's about completely rebuilding trust in a world that, let's be honest, really needs it. So yeah, who do you really trust? You trust your bank with your life savings? You trust Instagram with your memories? You're basically trusting a central company, a single entity, to manage, protect, and sign off on pretty much everything you do online. But here's the fundamental weakness in that whole setup: a single point of failure. If that one middleman gets hacked, or goes down, or just makes a mistake, well, you're compromised too. Let's actually break this down. So on the left, you've got the old way, a centralized database. Just picture a single giant master spreadsheet. If the one person in charge messes up, gets hacked, or, decides to change a number on the sly, the whole system is toast. It's incredibly fragile. Now look at the right. This is the new way, the blockchain way. Instead of one master copy, everybody on the network has an identical, cryptographically sealed copy. There is no single point of failure. To make a change, the majority has to agree. And once a change is made, it's permanent, it's transparent. It's a system built on math and collective agreement, not just hoping one person does the right thing. So what is a blockchain, really? The official definition is a decentralized digital ledger. Okay, let's unpack that. Ledger is just a fancy term for a book of records. Digital, obviously, it's on computers. And decentralized, that's the secret sauce. It means it's not sitting on one server in one building, it's copied and spread out across a whole network of computers. And this is why it's a game changer. This setup makes every record transparent for all to see, and crucially, immutable. That means once a record is in there, it can never ever be changed or deleted. It's like carving it into digital stone. This is how you get a single source of truth without a single person being in control. All right, so how does this unbreakable chain actually get built, link by link? It might sound super technical, but the basic idea is actually pretty brilliant. So let's do this. We're gonna follow one single transaction and see how it goes from just a request into a permanent, rock-solid part of the chain. Okay, let's trace its path. Step 1. You decide to send some money or log some data. Your transaction gets bundled up with a bunch of others into what's called a block. Think of it like a new page for our digital record book. Step 2, that new block gets blasted out to every single computer on the network. Everyone sees it. Step 3, this is where the magic happens. All those computers, or participants, start verifying everything. Is the signature legit? Does the person actually have the money to send? They check all the details. And finally, step 4. Once the network gives it the green light, the block is sealed with a unique cryptographic fingerprint, and bam, it's added to the chain, permanently, for everyone to see, forever. And right here, is the secret to why blockchain is so incredibly secure. That unique code I mentioned, it's called a hash. It's basically a digital fingerprint for everything inside that block. And I mean everything. If you change so much as a single comma, the entire fingerprint changes completely. But here's the truly brilliant part. Each new block doesn't just have its own fingerprint. It also holds the fingerprint of the block that came right before it. That's what makes it a chain. So imagine a hacker tries to go back and secretly change an old block. The second they do, its fingerprint changes, which breaks the chain to the next block and the next and the next. It's like a massive set of dominoes falling over. The entire network would see it instantly and reject it. It's just genius. Okay, but this brings up a huge question, right? If there's no boss, no CEO, no central server making the final call, how on earth does this global network of thousands of computers all agree on what's true? How do they all decide, yep, this block is legit, let's add it? How do they reach a consensus? Well, the answer is something called a consensus mechanism. Basically, the rulebook for agreeing. The two big ones you hear about are proof of work and proof of stake. Proof of work, which is what Bitcoin uses, is basically a massive computational race. All these computers, called miners, are burning incredible amounts of energy to solve a super complex math puzzle. The first one to solve it gets to add the block and wins a prize. The big problem? It uses a truly insane amount of energy. Then you have proof of stake, which is the newer, way more efficient model used by networks like Ethereum. Instead of a race, people stake their own coins as collateral. The network then chooses a validator from that group to create the next block. It achieves the same security but uses something like 99% less energy. It's a huge deal and really the direction most of the space is heading. Okay, so we've talked a lot about how this thing works, the nuts and bolts. But now let's get to the most important part. The why. Why should you care about any of this if you're not into crypto? Because this ability to create a secure, transparent, and permanent record of, well, pretty much anything is a total game changer. We're about to look at real-world problems being solved by this tech today. And believe me, this is where it gets really, really cool. Let's start with something you do every week, going to the supermarket. You grab a bag of salad. Where did it come from? Right now, if there's an E. coli outbreak, it can take days or even weeks to trace the source. And in the meantime, people get sick. But with blockchain, that's changing. Companies like IBM have this thing called food trust. Every step from the farm to the truck to the warehouse to the store is logged on an unchangeable record. This means they can trace a contaminated batch back to its source in literally minutes, not weeks. Plus, you can verify labels like organic or fair trade with 100% certainty. Or how about healthcare? Your medical history is probably some of the most private data you have, right? But it's scattered all over the place. A little here with your family doctor, a piece over at that specialist you saw once. Blockchain offers a way to create one single, secure, unified health record, a record that can't be secretly altered, giving it total integrity. And here's the most important part. You hold the private key. You decide which doctor gets to see it. It puts you, the patient, back in control of your own information. Okay, what about the bedrock of democracy itself, voting? No matter where you stand, you hear concerns about election security and tampering. Well, blockchain offers a pretty radical solution. Imagine a system where every single vote is a transaction, recorded on a public ledger. It would be completely transparent, anyone could audit the count, and totally tamper-proof. Now, this isn't just some sci-fi idea. It was actually tested for military and overseas voters in West Virginia back in 2018. It points to a future where we could, potentially, guarantee election integrity with math.
And the list just keeps going. We're talking about tamper-proof digital land deeds, ending property fraud forever. We're talking about smart contracts, which are just bits of code that automatically carry out an agreement. Think about it. A payment is automatically released the second a package is confirmed is delivered. No middleman, no delays. Or even international banking, making cross-border payments happen in minutes instead of days, any time of day, for pennies. The potential here is just massive.
Okay, so as incredible as all that sounds, let's pump the brakes for a second and get a dose of reality. Like any world-changing technology, blockchain is not some magic fix for everything. There are some very real, very significant hurdles on the road to getting this everywhere, and it's important we talk about them to see the full picture. First up, and this is a big one, speed, or what the tech world calls scalability. Just look at these numbers. The Visa network, which you use every day, can handle something like 65,000 transactions every second. The Bitcoin network, it maxes out at around 10. That is a gigantic difference. Now, newer blockchains are getting way faster, but this has been a huge bottleneck. It turns out the trade-off for all that amazing security and decentralization has historically been a major hit to speed. All right, another elephant in the room, the connection to illegal activity. You've all heard the stories about crypto being used for shady stuff online. And while yeah, that absolutely happens, the scale of it is often blown way out of proportion. A recent report showed that in 2023, illicit transactions made up just 0.34% of all crypto volume. Let me say that again, 0.34%. The other 99.6+%, totally legitimate. So it's a real problem, but it helps to see it in perspective. So when you put it all together, the main challenges look like this. These chains are always getting bigger, which requires a massive amount of data storage. Governments around the world are still trying to figure out how to regulate it all, which creates a lot of uncertainty. Public perception has taken a big hit from major scandals and collapses, making people understandably wary. And, as we talked about, the huge energy cost of those older proof-of-work systems is still a major issue. By the way, if you're finding this deep dive into disruptive tech interesting, you'll definitely want to check out our other explainer on the AI bubble and why some investors are getting pretty scared. The link for that is right up top and also down in the description. But here's the thing, despite all those hurdles, the innovation is not slowing down one bit. In fact, it's accelerating. This technology is evolving at a breakneck speed. So let's look past the present-day problems and peek over the horizon. What does the blockchain of tomorrow look like, say in 2025 and beyond? We're seeing a few massive trends taking shape. First, big companies are jumping in, thanks to something called blockchain as a service that makes it way easier to get started. Second, decentralized finance, or DeFi, is growing up. It's going to get more secure, faster, and even start connecting with traditional banks. Third, the metaverse. As these virtual worlds get built, blockchain is going to be the backbone that proves you actually own your digital stuff: your avatar's clothes, your virtual house, your online identity. And finally, the whole industry is making a huge shift towards green blockchains, moving to those super efficient models like proof of stake. And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. The experts are all saying the same thing. There's a great quote from the NASCOM community that says, by 2025 and beyond, businesses that embrace blockchain will gain a competitive edge in the digital economy. The writing is on the wall. This isn't a weird little experiment anymore. It's becoming a foundational layer of our digital world. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Blockchain isn't really about a new type of database. It's about a fundamental shift in where we place our trust. It takes trust away from institutions that can fail or be corrupted and puts it into mathematics that are transparent and can't be changed. So, as we head into a future where every record could be permanent and every transaction is crystal clear, who truly holds the power? Is it you, the community, or something else entirely? That's the real question this technology forces us all to think about.